Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Happy Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of this incredible podcast. I know you could have chosen to be anywhere today, but you decided to be with us. First and foremost, I want to thank the sponsors of today's video, Faveo Memorial Live Streaming. Check them out at faveo.org. I have an exciting treat for you guys today, an exciting guest for you guys today. Please join me in welcoming the CEO of Tukios, Mr. Curtis Funk. Thanks so much for being with us today.
No, I appreciate it. It's an honor. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I remember you asking me about this like a year ago, so I'm glad we finally got here.
I am too. I know with the schedules and life and NFBA, sometimes time just gets past you, but we cut out some time. We're finally here.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Awesome. Look, I'm glad to have the official CEO of what we know at our podcast as the Green Team here.
Yeah.
So, it's just exciting, and I hope you're ready to dive in with us today.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I didn't wear the green shirt. That's how I disguise myself, if I'm not wearing it. But yeah, ready to rip.
What initially drew you into the funeral service profession, and how has your journey shaped your perspective on serving families today?
Yeah, great question. So, I was raised in like an entrepreneurial family, grandparents that started businesses, dad, siblings. And so we were always just, looking for problems to solve. And in 1999, I went to the very first funeral I'd ever attended. It was for my great grandmother. And, not going there thinking we're going to start anything. And, and it's not unlike most, I think, like founder stories when you talk to someone that's serving in death care. A lot of times they went to a funeral and something happened, right? It's like, and it's not, sometimes it's like maybe you wanted something to be done a different way or better. And in our case, it wasn't that anything was like not done well. It was just the funeral was recorded, which is fantastic.
Right.
Just like what, you folks all do at Faveo. And it's like the funeral is recorded and they gave us a cassette tape of the recording. And that was kind of like, all right, well, we're really glad it was recorded. My brother sang a song. I think my dad spoke. And so I was like, we want this recording. We want to be able to hear this again. But I don't have a cassette player anymore, at the time, and neither did anyone. So, we were just techie. And so went back to that funeral home a few weeks later, I think it was, and like, hey, you should offer your families the ability to record digitally, and we'll show up and we'll set up. I'd go to funerals. I'd skip out in classes in high school. I'd bring my MacBook, a little preamp, and a microphone, and set it up and record it digitally, and then go back to this office my brother had and just edit this audio, cut it all into individual tracks to put it on a CD. So you put the CD in there, and then each track is like each individual speaker or song. So that's really what like drew me into it, and it was just a side hustle along with a few other things I'd been doing for years. And then it was really like 2007. It was still going. Like it was just this again, like this side hustle my brother and I had been working on, and just saw like I think I could turn that into something. So
right.
There's this, this whole story of Tukios is no overnight success, right? It's 25 years in the making. But it was like all those years of just a side hustle. 2007 saying let's do this like full time and build a website. Let's make it so like the audio recording can go online. People can listen to it. Let's live stream. I think we started doing live streaming in like 2008. And I quit my other jobs. Same year I got married, same year I bought a house. It was just like the scariest and worst time to go full time in entrepreneurship. But that was really what got me there. And, I think just like that slow growth and like learning along the way, innovating, continuing to add and build new things. When you ask the question of just like how that's, kind of shaped my perspective of serving families, it's like, it's my, I guess, opinions and thoughts in the space and what's, the right way to serve a funeral home and a family. It's not something that I just barely came up with, right? It's something that's been kind of forming over a couple decades.
That's a beautiful thing. And just to see it matriculate and to grow into what it is today. I mean, when you think about it, when you think about entrepreneurship and funeral service today, it's turning into something that it's developing, it's growing, it's becoming its own machine. Ideas are popping out now faster than ever before, and you gave birth to that idea so early in advance, so soon, and to look at it now and today, it must make you really proud.
Yeah, it's crazy to look back. I mean, and just coming off the tail end here of the NFDA, and just the difference of what it was. First time we went to NFDA and rolled everything in a in a suitcase to now it's crates and tons of people, and it's so different. So it is, yeah, it's crazy to look back on what it was and what it's become. But I mean, really, it's like there's anything you could share then with other entrepreneurs that are entering the space. It's I remember like staying up at night really 15 years ago as we were like building more products and just thinking like, man, how can we ever win? I mean, like we'll grow slowly, but it's like, I look at some of the other companies that existed at the time. It's like, how can we ever compete with them? Like, budget wise and all this other stuff.
Right.
But if you just keep grinding, and at the end of the day, I think business is simple. You just do what the customer wants, right? Just put that first. If you just do what's in the best interest of the customer and think of them first, the money and everything else works out. Like the growth will happen. But it's just, to me, it's just common sense. Like that's literally like business 101 to me. Just do what the customer. We'll do what's best for them, and
Absolutely.
literally it will all work.
How does your company support innovation and adaptability within the deaf care space?
Yeah, a great question. I mean, I think that's what we exist to do, right? We're just solely focused on how do we make the life of a funeral director better. So really driving innovation, bringing technology to them that saves them time, saves them hours and hours of time at this point. If you look at like all the different little things our platform does to not just eliminate clicks, but eliminate work, things that they would normally have to do, that we can get AI to do now. And then, hopefully, that's some of the features that we're building can flow through where that innovation can be something that we see the funeral homes using more and more often, which it is now. We're seeing, it's been that way for years, but it's cool to see as we introduce some new products and to see that innovation is making its way all the way to the family. They don't need to know who we are. That's not the goal. The goal is like funeral home, right? But like making sure that our innovation makes its way there where they can blow the family's mind by making a beautiful video, or the family, it's crazy how often the family comes in and they don't have a really great photo, like a portrait photo of an individual. Right. So the ability to like drop that into the system and just say like, upscale this so it's high resolution and remove everyone except for the guy in the middle and make it a portrait, and you type that in and boom, you've got that photo now, right? Like those types of things where you can just shock the family because they were struggling to find a photo and you've now taken one and created it. So things like that, it's just really fun to be able to support them in that way.
It's to see you guys pushing the edge, pushing the boundaries of what it means to create websites for funeral homes. I mean, you've been doing that for years, and you keep getting better and better and better. And I have to say, out of everybody I've seen at NFDA, the people who are the most excited to see the Tukios as you guys as existing customers, they're excited to see you. And I think part of that excitement comes from what you've done and what you're going to do. And that's a beautiful thing to watch and to witness, especially to be there live. Yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, we try to release stuff right around NFDA, so there's like always something exciting to talk about, but yeah. Anyway, we're releasing things all throughout the year, but it's like there's a few things you're like, you just got to sandbag a little bit just to make NFDA a little more exciting, So,
what do you think the next major shift in funeral services will be, and how are you preparing for it?
Yeah, so I raise some eyebrows when I talk about this. I think, right now it sounds like the number one challenge funeral homes are facing is staffing, right? We hear about that all the time. Whatever the percentage is, I hear it and I'm blown away every time, then I forget the number, but it's like 60% or something of mortuary, like college graduates don't stay in the profession, right? That's a concern. And just, with the boomers and everything, so you've got like all this natural growth, but you've got like less people to service it. So there's staffing seems to be a major issue, and so that's something we've been putting a lot of thought into. And our goal is like the way we could hopefully like help out with all this stuff really as a technology provider, not just digital, but to eventually like bring that technology into the physical realm as well, where you're looking at. I think it's not crazy to think that a few years from now, you get a death call in the middle of the night, and you find out where this person is and you're going to go make a removal, and you just, get dressed and drive straight there. The car will have already left the funeral home and meet you there, right? Autonomous driving is so good at this point already. That's realistic. Car can just meet you there. And then if there's some sort of like, device, it doesn't need to be like a humanoid robot. It could be, but like that might freak people out. But some sort of device where like, just average person can kind of deal with the removal, just one person. And then again, like, get the person back into the care and everything else. And then even just like, robotics and embalming. I just think technology and advanced robotics is kind of going to be a major shift, because it's a big problem we're seeing right now. But I don't know that it's going to be solved by any other change that's going to get folks that get through mortuary college to stay. So my thought is like, that's something that technology and robotics could potentially solve the staffing issues, is what I'm getting at. So that's one major shift I'm looking at, thinking like, a few years down the road potentially. But when you're seeing the change in AI and robotics, all of these things seem within reach.
Wow, that's a powerful statement, and I know for myself, I can definitely see it, and I know staffing is a big thing that's been talked about for the last couple of years, and it's something you can see actively. Just the burnout rate of the Millennial Mortician base is so high versus our counterparts, and that really comes down being trained and equipped and having real conversations and keeping yourself mentally sharp and focused, so you don't have that same burnout. And talking to funeral homes and letting them know this is what we're looking for. This is what we need. I know it's traditionally that, we work Saturdays and Sundays or every weekend and we're 24/7, 365. Yes, the funeral home, the business is, but we're still people and we have a life outside of funeral services. So how does that look? And what can you do? What can you offer us as a counteract for us to still be in this and still be able to serve families while having, personal time? And I think my generation's value personal time more now, more than ever before, just because we know it's limited, especially in this business.
Yeah. No, that's great advice.
And that's just from just my personal experience, just being in it and growing. It's like, I have a life outside of funeral services. I had to learn that over time. When I realized I was missing birthday parties or family events and things of that nature. You don't realize how important those moments are till they're gone. And so that's why we have you up here, have the Millennial Mortician audience to reshape and redefine what it means to serve in funeral services. We're not going down on quality or anything like that. We're just serving in a different way. And that's scary for some people, but it's doable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So what advice would you give to students or new professionals entering the industry right now?
Man, I think in some ways I just bottle up what you just said and say it again. But the other thing I would maybe say is that there's I don't know if you've seen Kevin from Tukios. He's the guy with the big beard, right? The beard down to like his belly, and he has this saying. He always says, "The grass is greener where you water it." And I think like that would be like the thought I would share with students and new professionals in the space. Is just, all right, the grass is greener when you water it, or where you water it. Like, if you think like the grass is greener in another profession, I'm not sure that it will be, right? Because the purpose and the like why you do what you do, the fulfillment of serving families in their hardest time, I don't know that you can get that sort of like lift in another space. There's definitely the hard things about it, right? There's like you mentioned, there's going to be the work-life balance is going to be really hard. But I find that I think when you see folks bouncing around from industry to industry, I don't know that they ever land anywhere where they're going to be like necessarily happier.
Right.
So, so that's, I would say the grass is greener where you water it, and make sure when you get out of college and you get into a new job that you're transparent and in like your interview processes and everything with your future employers on what's important to you. And if they understand like, this is what my expectations are for my personal time. And if that works for them, great. Because again, I think other things will sort of help solve hopefully some of the hardest stuff, right? The things that, but at the end of the day, I mean, being there for a family, I've not really worked funerals before, but I've been involved in, at least a dozen or so. And it's meaningful work. And when you're the one that's, even, every funeral director says this, it's like when you experience the loss, you're just not prepared. You're going through the same thing the family does, even though you've done this 1,000 times. You think like, no, I'm going to be able to put on the best funeral ever. You just don't. You can't, right? Like my mom passed away earlier this year. It's just like,
Oh, no.
it
Sorry
just
for your
felt
loss.
like, oh yeah, thank you. It was, yeah, it's like everything felt like a checklist, and it has to get done. The stuff's got to get done. So we're working through the necessities. You're prioritizing the most important things, and at the end of the day, it's like for me, the most meaningful things that happened were the things that the funeral home did, and the things that this profession did. The outreach I received was just overwhelming, but that is meaningful work. And so, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know that you can chase anything that's going to be all that much better. And if it's the thought's like, well, you know what, you want to get in an ownership role and everything else, well, that's going to be a whole lot harder than like
Another
just
level of
work
compassionate
it.
care.
Yeah, and the work-life balance gets really challenging when you're a business owner. So it's just you're preparing yourself for those types of things, and you should work towards that if you want it. But in order to get there, you got to water the grass, like where you're at. So,
What does serving with purpose mean to you personally and professionally?
I think one thing that comes to mind immediately when you ask that is just being the same person and everywhere you go, in every circle, whether you're with your friends or your colleagues or employers, customers, whatever, just being the same person, and just not, and having like a really clear reason to do what you do. I've been an entrepreneur now for 25 years and started 7 or 8 businesses, and most of them failed. So I'll throw that out there. Not like it's been like this, all these home runs, because it wasn't. But in the different industries and whatnot that I worked in, I ended up here because of that purpose. It's good. It feels good. It's like the call I was on earlier this morning, same conversation, just like so fulfilling to be able to help people that are having a hard time. It means a lot to them in those moments, right? And again, having gone through it, and anyone that's gone through it, and you think of what are those things that really meant a lot to you, you're hanging on to, it was the things you weren't really expecting. Someone's outreach sent you some gift or something that just caught you right in the moment. And so, yeah, I think, serving with purpose, it's like, we're doing this for the right reasons. We're not, I don't think, many folks in funeral service in general are in here to chase money, regardless of what the world might try to say about it. That's not what it's about. It's about trying to make things easier for folks that are having their hardest time.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. It's definitely so much deeper than what people see. They see the price tag because they see it with our service to a product, a casket or urn. But for us, it's personal. And I tell people all the time, no matter what you select, it's your selection, it's your choice. Nothing like at the front of the table, and you're helping families make decisions and decide on what they want. And they look at you and ask you, so what do you? And then you have to kind of take it off of me. It's like, it's not what I want, it's what you want. I'm just here to get the things together, get the ideas together, get the memories together, and give you a service that's memorable. That's just all I'm here to do, and then the rest is up to you. And so, saying all that to say, what does the funeral of the future of I guess funerals and Tukios look like, acquisition wise, business wise? What's next? What's your growing chapter?
Yeah, so I mean, we've had really excellent growth these last few years. This year, we acquired the website Business Away from Batesville. They've been a partner of ours for a long time. Our video software has been integrated into that platform. And so acquiring that, brought on quite a few more customers to our platform, which has been good. We'll continue to, grow. Most of our growth will just keep being organic and trying to bring more value to the customers we already have. But yeah, I mean, just from a acquisition perspective, I mean, there may be other companies that we look to acquire. I don't know that there's like that. It's still kind of the verdict's out if that would be like other players that are in specifically serving funeral homes, or if it's more us making acquisitions of like adjacent businesses that kind of serve funeral homes on the in other ways, or can help kind of strengthen what we're offering. So other technology providers and things like that might be helpful. But yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, we've just been heads down in growth, and just, again, it's like it all boils down to that one thing. It's just like trying to make the life of a funeral director better, trying to do what's in the best interest of the customer, and create raving fans. If you come in the office here and walk around Tukios, you'll see the statement, create raving fans, all over the place. That's important.
Absolutely. I actually got invited. I think it was by Nevea, your social media.
Oh, awesome.
He said, you got to come by our headquarters and check us out. And I said, that sounds like fun.
You should. Yeah, if you like the cold weather, you don't want to come anytime soon. Or if you don't like the cold weather, I mean, it's going to get cold here shortly. But yeah,
I appreciate you, Mr. Curtis, for doing this, for joining, for working well with our sponsors, for Veo. I mean, seeing you guys tag team together it's been truly incredible, and seeing the growth and development, and just the lives we're changing, the people we're impacting. It's a special time. I get excited because people's lives are being changed and transformed. So by the work that we're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Jaden. No, I appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. Love to have you again soon. Stay posted. Just seeing what the next big thing is, and hopefully check out that headquarters sometime soon.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Mr. Curtis, enjoy your day. Thank you.
You too. Thanks, Jaden.
Well, Millennial Morticians, I hope you enjoyed that special guest for today. He is a true gem to funeral services and to the future of our industry. Well, you guys, you know how I like to end it. I'm your host, Jaden Folks. This is the Millennial Mortician Podcast, a podcast that engraves, and I hope it engraved you this week. I love you guys, and stay tuned for the next one. Catch you.